Hello everyone, this is Luke again, and welcome back to yet another Ninjago video onto the channel today. Now that Season 15 has ended, I could finally do this video for forever. I've been really wanting to do this video for a long time now. And that is to talk about my favorite episodes of each season. I actually might do the other side of the equation, do my least favorite episodes of each season, and why they are my least favorite. But today we're going to do my favorite episodes of each season. And before we start, I'm not going to include the pilots or Day of the Departed, because in my country, the pilots were aired as 2 episodes. So if I pick one, the other would technically be my least favorite, and I just don't like doing that. And also, Day of the Departed is not really an episode in the run count, so it doesn't qualify on this list. So, with that being said, let's start at Season 1 with my favorite episode of Season 1. So, Season 1. There are quite a lot of good episodes in this season. Home, Can of Worms, The Royal Blacksmiths, the finale, the 2-part finales are great, The Green Ninja, but obviously, if you know me, my favorite episode is TikTok. But why this particular episode? Because usually it's either the beginning or the finale for a lot of people. And it is for some cases with some seasons for me. But this one is like jammed right packed into the middle. Why is this episode my favorite? Well, the overall importance of the episode has to be taken into consideration. Because, well, we got the famous Zane is a robot twist, which, shocked everyone who watched it because no one really thought that this would be possible. I mean, most people did not. Some people may have or say they have, but did they really? I don't think so. Also, because I think I may have revealed this in another video, but to me, this episode is one of, if not the most important episode of Ninjago, because it proved that Ninjago could tell a story, and it actually had depth to it, and it wasn't just another Lego-themed band to sell toys. I mean, yeah, in Season 1, that was kind of the whole point, and it is kind of the whole point of a Lego theme with a TV show to begin with. It's not really meant to, garner views, but to sell toys. But this episode proved that it could tell a story even despite that. And that's why I think it's my favorite episode of Season 1. Next up, we have Season 2. Again, great episodes. The Last Voyage. Again, that was basically Zane fan service for me. It's also got its fair share of iffy episodes, like Ninja Ball Run. And if you were expecting the Island of Darkness episode or Rise of the Spinjitzu Master as my favorite episodes, well, you'd be wrong. Island of Darkness, in my opinion, is good, but it's hella overrated. And Rise of the Spinjitzu Master, phenomenal finale, but it's just nearly edged out by the previous episode, Return of the Overlord, which is my favorite episode of Season 2. Because there's just more stakes, in my opinion. There's just more battling in it. I guess. And there's a lot more action in it than Rise of the Spinjitzu Master. And also because at the end, he gave that feeling of just no hope at all, which was so perfectly done. And I just love that battle between Lloyd and the Overlord, especially with Garmadon kind of flashing in every now and then just to give Lloyd some words of advice like, be strong, you will not take my son. And I thought that was so emotional, and it just does narrowly edge out the finale, just by a teensy-weensy little bit. Season 3. I might as well jump straight into this, because, let's be honest here, if you're asking almost any Ninjago fan what their favorite episode of Season 3 is, they're going to say this. The Titanium Ninja. Obviously. That finale, so emotional, so heartfelt, and just incredibly sad. Yeah, maybe leading up to it, it could have been better, but damn that scene. I swear to God, that scene in particular, I swear to God, 80% of the audience back then, if you were, watching it when it first came out, they were crying their eyes out. because it was the first time that we saw an on-main death of a main character, on-screen death of a main character. Yes, I know he came back like 5 minutes later, but that there was the magic of it. At the time, because we were so distraught, because we were so sad, we didn't realize that he came back, so we assumed he returned in season 4, but not in season later that episode. Obviously, now when we look at it because we're older, we obviously know that. But at the time, we didn't know. We couldn't tell the difference. So yeah, what a masterfully episode! What a masterfully done episode. Next up, we have season 4, Tournament of Elements. Again, pretty lots of good episodes. Day of the Dragon, Versus, and the finale, and in my opinion, a very underrated episode, The Greatest Fear of All. But the best episode, in my opinion, is the very first one, The Invitation. It perfectly shows the showcase of how people deal with loss, because obviously people deal with loss differently, people grieve differently, people mourn differently, and it really shows in this episode. Kai basically becomes a wrestler, Jay becomes a game show host, Cole becomes a lumber dude, I guess, and Lloyd is still doing his ninja duties. The team is basically split apart based on Zane's death. That not only shows how much Zane meant to them, but how much Zane was worth to the team. And it was further stated with the line, maybe without Zane, there is no team. It really showed how much they not only they cared about Zane, but how much Zane was worth to the team. Even though he might not have done all that much, he was still super important. He was a brother to them. Thank God they finally found him again, even if it was in a different form. Next up, season 5. Not Tournament of Elements. Possession. Again, lots of good episodes. Peekaboo, Ghost Story, Grave Danger, and the 2-part finale. Mwah! I love the 2-part finale. And this one was really difficult because and I actually counted this. Out of the 10 episodes for season 5, 4 of them were 10 out of 10s. 40% of the season was a 10 out of 10. That's how good that season was. Yes, in my opinion, I think this was a really, really, really tough one to choose from. But I think by a very, very, very narrow margin, Winds of Change is my favorite one, because it perfectly shows how much of a villain and how much of a threat Moro really was. Moro, a fan favorite villain. We all know it. We loved him. We loved his motive. We loved basically his entire character. And this definitely was the perfect way to showcase that character. He just basically beat the absolute shit out of the ninja in the first episode. And when I mean beat the shit out of them, he literally beat the shit out of them. So, and it was a perfect way to showcase that. And we also got the Kai and Lloyd dynamic, which, led to some very questionable stuff in the form of Green Flame, the ship. If you like it, okay, I guess. But anyways, yeah, that episode, very, very good. Next up, season 6. Unfortunately, there were not that many good episodes in season 6 for me, with none of them garnering a 10 out of 10. But one did come somewhat close, and if you're thinking it was The Last Resort, you are wrong. My favorite episode happens to be the episode after that, Operation Land Hill. A main high point of Skybound was a lot of people really, really liked how Jay was actually taken seriously for once. And this episode definitely proved that you should not mess with Jay when he actually is thinking straight. And I wish we could get more seasons with him like that, instead of him just being a comic relief character and just, a lover to Nia, which, that got broken in 15. But, we'll see that. So this season well, this season did definitely take Jay seriously, but this episode perfectly showcased that. As he basically led a ragtag, basically discount ninja team comprising of Skylar, Ronan, Police Commissioner, Echo Zane, and Captain Soto. I think it. I may have forgot someone, but I don't think so. Um. So yeah, even though this episode was not a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, it was still a good high point in a very crappy season. Next up, season 7. There are definitely some highs and lows of the season. Some of the highs being the beginning and and towards the end with, Kai versus Ray. Still, that battle was fucking amazing. Kai's best moment in my opinion. And it's definitely had some low points with, the Zane being broken for 2 episodes and the Dr. Saunders twist, which didn't really go anywhere. But there was one 10 out of 10 episode, and obviously, it's the finale, Lost in Time. And I really loved the finale. The finale was fucking crazy, fucking insane. And overall, I just want to watch it again and again and again. There was that one little hiccup with, "It is time to rule." Like, just be gone, that crappy line. And fight fire with time, which I don't even know that I can't even speak after saying that line. But yeah, that finale on the Iron Doom is amazing, and hopefully, if this, and hopefully we can get some answers as to uh what happened on them being in the Iron Doom. There was a legacy short about it. I don't know if it will be uploaded at the time of this video is upload, but if it is, great. If not, okay, I can wait a little bit longer. So yeah. So now we go over to the hella overrated season 8 Sons of Garmadon. I know a lot of people love that season, and I pretty much just triggered all of them by saying it's overrated, but it is overrated. Like, people think this is so awesome because it's so mature, it's so dark. Like, just because it's mature dark doesn't make it good. Like, there's a difference between being good and being dark. It's definitely had its highs and lows, like I said, before with season 7. And one episode very nearly closely got a 10 out of 10. And that was, again, a weird, right smack in the middle episode, Dead Man's Squall. I think, in my opinion, part of the reason people love this episode is the animation. The animation is fucking gorgeous in this episode. It, like, the rain piling down, like, this was definitely the peak of Ninjago animation, just as a whole. And yes, I am including Wild Brain, because Wild Brain definitely has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages as well. But, and also because, Zane versus Mr. E at the start, which was amazing. I just wish, Mr. E was Echo Zane, because I really still don't understand why that plot point was dropped. I know what the reason is, I just don't agree with that reasoning. I feel like it's a very stupid reason. And, well, the choreography was amazing, just about it. And this was one of the few times where a non-super plot-focused episode actually beat some of the actual surefire plot-focused episodes. So, yeah, props to the team for that. Next, another hella overrated season in my opinion, Hunted. Most this was a hard season to keep up. And this is why I do not think Ninjago should ever try and do a double storyline approach ever again, because it's just way too hard to, comprehend to some people, especially little kids. It's just too hard for some people to comprehend. So, but there was one episode I really, really loved, and of course, you might have already guessed this. It's Saving Faith. The Oni Titan battle was good. I felt the struggle there. And it was like one of the few times, it's not the only time, where I actually liked Skylar as a character, and it actually felt like something. It actually felt the whole tension and drama, especially with Lame Rumi dying, because she fucking deserves to die after what she did. I mean, she did make an honorable move in the form of not letting a certain child lose her parents the same way she did her own parents. Um, so essentially, what I called it is the quiet one died the same way she was born. The quiet one was created because of her parents' demise, but by saving one another kid's parents, she unintentionally, made herself die. So yeah, good stuff. March Dione. Well, there's only 4 episodes to choose from, and well, I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm gonna say. It's the fall. Cole's fall, even though it meant nothing in the end, at the time, it's still a greatly executed scene with, just a soprano. What's that musical term? Aura? An aura? Or something? It's, it's a, I can't think of it right now. Okay, I finally figured it out. It's aria. It sounds like an aria. If you don't know what an aria is, it's an opera and a complex piece of music written for an operatic soloist with instrumental accompaniment. It definitely sounds like an aria. I think it might actually be. You might have to fact check me along that, but with that oh like that, I can't do. I don't have a soprano voice. Just say I can't. Um, with that music, with that scene, just perfect. And, I actually did think Cole died when I first watched that episode. I actually did think he was dead. There was no way. Because he would have basically smacked his head so hard, and I thought he died from internal bleeding or something, like, maybe. I don't know. And when we saw, like, a view of his body, I legit thought, did Ninjago really just show us a dead body? I know there was, like, some movement on his face. He did, like, that, but I thought that they just did not show us that. So still, wonderful episode. Now this is another tricky one, another controversial season 11. So yeah, not many good episodes, to be honest. And that is for both the fire and ice chapters. So, but one episode that I really, really liked was towards the end of the ice chapter and the end of the season as a whole, A Fragile Hope, where I'm not sure if I quite remember, but I think there was some epic adventure with, the ninja minus Lloyd and Crag on the land bounty, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure we got introduced to Kataru the bear in that episode. And basically, we had this one epic exchange of dialogue between Vex and Lloyd, with both actors incredibly showing their talents, which I incredibly applaud so much. And I really loved Grinfax as a character. I liked him. He's absolutely underrated as heck. Grimfax, helping Lloyd, and, the last line, welcome to the Resistance, cool hunted callback. And yeah, just when we thought the season was going to be an absolute crap, this episode kind of gave us some hope, as the title would suggest, but then it kind of gets destroyed later in the finale. Oh boy, I wish the finale definitely made up for that episode. Next up, we have Season 12, Prime Empire. A video game season. A season tailor-made for people like me. But yeah, there are definitely some good episodes here. Superstar Rockin' J being one of them. One step forward, two steps back. Speedway 5 billion. But in my opinion, the best episode to come from it is, again, another right smack in the middle, The Maze of the Red Dragon. It perfectly showcases Okino's character and definitely his very weird dynamic with Unagami, being basically somewhat like a slave, essentially. He basically broke free of his own programming and becomes now a Ronin of Terra Karana. And I just really liked how Okino was very shown in this light, and he was definitely a standout of Prime Empire. Season 13, Master of the Mountain. Our very first Cole focus season. Hooray! We waited so long for a Cole focus season, and I bet and this was definitely deserving of a Cole season. We definitely got some good episodes. The Upley Strike Back, Darkest Hour, Dungeon Crawl, Trial by Mino. Yes, I actually think that's a good episode. Two Blades. But my favorite episode, obviously, is the finale. The Son of Lily. You know, the promise to from Lily to Cole. Amazing. And Spinjitzu Burst was just mwah. I just wish we could have seen it one more time before, It just seems like that it was one of those one and done moves where it was only done once and then never brought up again. But unfortunately, I have to bring up the sad fact. This was unfortunately the final season to air before Kirby Morrow's tragic passing in 2020. So, at least he went out on top, essentially. And I don't know if he really watched that season before he died, but if he did, at least he got to see pretty much his best work before, his sudden death. The Island. Kind of along that same line as Marchiglione. 4 episodes, so it's kind of easy to choose from. But here's the thing. Those first three episodes were kind of boring. They just weren't really my thing. And, well, there was only one really decent episode in The Island, and that was The Tooth of Wojira. I did like the finale. The finale is good. Even though there was that really weird and awkward twist that nobody liked, which was Ronin being the main villain instead of the Keepers. Because, a lot of people really didn't like that whole dynamic he keeps having of constantly switching between good guy and bad guy. Personally, I was a little confused at first, but I just kind of accepted it and just went along with it, I guess. And, well, I liked the overall thing in the end. I just wish that the island was more connected to its next season. And continuing on with the Kirby Morrow stuff, this was the first season to come out after his unfortunate passing. So, and then our most recent installment, season 15, Seabound. So we have quite a lot of episodes, and it's definitely helped the Wild Brain era definitely gain some momentum. We had some great episodes: 5,000 Fathoms Down, Long Live the King, The Tale of Benthomar. But I think the Calm Before the Storm was another one. Assault in Ninjago City, Niad. But in my opinion, it's the finale, the turn of the tide. Just everything leading up, everything was the battling's so good. Kalmar gets what he deserves, but what we didn't see coming was Nia basically departing from the ninja team. And we just don't know what will happen to her. We don't know what will happen. Because she just left. She just left. And presumably never seen again. And Jay and the rest of the team have to kind of cope with this loss. And everybody shows up. And, this, again, the to end the trifecta of Kirby Morrow stuff, this was the final season in which Kirby Morrow was a cast member for the Ninjago team. Since this was the final installment he recorded before, again, his untimely passing. So I just want to thank him for all that he's done. I hope in heaven he watches this video and is super happy that people still look up to him, even despite that he's no longer here with us. And I hope that whoever plays Cole in the future will get accepted and welcomed with open arms in this community. But that's it. These are my favorite episodes of each and every season. So let me know. What are your favorite episodes from all the seasons? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. And click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye.